The Mix, your new online Adelaide Hills sports show, looking at news, views and reviews of everything Adelaide Hills sport. Jeff Pistola from the Mount Barker Courier here, and joined by, well, all-round Mount Barker sporting hero, cricketer, footballer, and also currently leading administrator, Mark Stoker. How you going, Jeff?
Yeah, thanks.
And we got some good reviews from the feedback from the first edition, so hopefully continue to build the profile of sport here in Adelaide Hills.
That's it. So just on the show, this week we'll go similar again as last week. Start off with some footy. I've got a big interview coming up.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So Johnny Fitz, the co-coach of Macclesfield.
Yes, reigning premiership
coach. So we'll talk about that, how that was a big win for them and the community.
45 years in the making.
That's it. We'll talk about his journey of how he got into coaching and his football background and stuff like that, and maybe Macclesfield's aspirations of coming up into the Div 1, if that's a possibility for those guys. So,
Well, as we said, season up and running as we've moved into round 4, and it's certainly, last weekend really supplied in all sporting categories and codes winter conditions.
Yeah, well, from the previous week it was pretty warm, and then this week was...
we talked about how good it was Anzac Day, usually raining, but they swapped the weeks. So last week saw the first advent of wet weather, but some interesting results, and it's shaping up as a very good competition in Division 1 Hills Football League. So
you just touched on Anzac Day. I just want to ask you did the Mount Lofty Adelaide game.
Yes, yes.
Notice that at the end of the game there was a decision made. So
the timekeeper pushed aside.
Yeah, the timekeeper pushed aside.
What are you alluding to?
And there was a bit of the ball got raked back in. And then did the balcony influence it, the balcony crowd? I heard in the background at that time there. He's dragged it in. You called it live. Was it there?
At the time, you think in the tense moment there was, you think, but scratch your head. But when you go back and actually look at the replay, I think umpire Max Richardson did a pretty good job, because I think he'd been paying him all day, and whether there was time to get the ball out. And as I said, dying seconds of the game, one side desperate to score, the other side desperate to
block it up and
defend. But we actually had umpire Max Richardson in the Quarter Wild last week, and on Saturday in the Lobie Armdorf game in similar situations. Gets right back, says and gives them ample time. So to answer your question, I don't think the balcony influences it. So grounds that don't have a balcony, the crowd doesn't influence umpires, is what you're saying?
Oh, no, just it can get pretty boisterous over there at Mount Lofty there after
half time. Could have been the umpire's coach was there watching him, just give him some advice. No, obviously the free kick that resulted in the game's result, kicked after the sign, but from my point of view, no, I think the free kick was there. If you go back and look at the whole game and similar situations, it was paid, and as I said, even last Saturday, the same sort of situation. So good, consistent umpiring by the Hills panel and umpire Richardson, so well done to him.
Yep.
Something you don't see at the AFL level, which we might get onto a bit later in the mixing bowl, mixed matters. We might just quickly touch on that. But we'll go through last week's results.
Yes, no worries. I'll just go through last week's there. So Onka Valley defeated Mount Lofty, your team, 9-11-65 to 2 goals, 10-22.
Well, obviously the balcony didn't have an influence there.
No, it didn't, because it was a Mount Lofty home game there again. So
only one goal in the first half. The 7 shot them out in the water, and Devils came in undefeated because Onkers had suffered their first loss on Anzac Day, and they were really hell bent on getting a bit of revenge, and they haven't won over at Goat Park for a few seasons, I'd suggest. So good win. Conley's got the boys up and running very well at the moment.
5-0 second quarter. That was set up there, and that was the margin by the end of the day.
Yep.
So good to see young Jack, well, not young Jack Adcock, but Jack Adcock back playing, because he was sick last year. So well done to him. Hopefully he get his body right. He can be a good player.
Been waiting a long time for that.
Yeah.
If he could just put through one season of just kicked 100 goals in Colts, we know his ability, but unfortunately for old Jakey, he's had a shocking amount of injury, so all the best to him.
Norris, in the second game, Uradler took on Nan Bremer at the Cabbage Patch Oval, so 7-9 to 51 to 4 goals, 6-30. Is it, going
to make a big call here.
Well, no, is Clint, is at panic stations yet? Or is there enough time? You would think
there's enough time. They've only played 4 rounds, but look, they've had players unavailable for various reasons, also some injuries have copped, and look, I've always knew they were going to be the hunted this year, being the reigning premier last year. I think they only lost 2 games for the season, so they've already, unfortunately for Clinton, they've already had that betted. Adelaide, on the other hand, going into this game, they'd actually lost 2 on the trot, and they'd never lost all 3 in a row in my memory recently. They lost their previous game at the Cabbage Patch, so they're pretty well pumped to do well. And look, even game, but really in the second half they kicked away to kick, low scoring because of the conditions, but just they seemed to use the ball a lot better. They didn't actually score in the last quarter. It must have been an exciting last quarter out there at the Cabbage Patch. 1 goal kick for the game in the last quarter, but Adelaide were able to hang on.
You mentioned Richards come back and played. He kicked 2 goals. So
well, he's obviously a barometer. I think early in the year when he played against Mount Barker, they had a big win.
6 or 7.
And then, because the last few weeks he's been there with the Crows Sandford squad, so he is actually a barometer. So, well done to your Adelaide.
Yep. In the next game, Mount Barker took on Blackwood at Howard Lane. So it was 11 goals, 12-78 for Blackwood, and Mount Barker 1 goal for 10. So
they got a balcony over at Mount Barker.
There is a balcony at Mount Barker, and it can be pretty boisterous there when they're up and about. So old Juggy Racing up there, you can gives plenty of voice.
Yes. Look, well done Blackwood. 3 in a row, Stoker. And who would have thought that? Because they won last year's Spoon. I think they only won a couple of games, and really hadn't heard a lot about them, but they've got a good mixture of kids because they've always had a good supply system through their junior ranks over there. These kids are maturing now as A-grade footballers, and Michael Hanby, pardon me, obviously had a plan, and they've done very well. In fact, week before beat the reigning premiers, so you can't do bottom versus top from last year. So Blackwood on the way, but throw to one to you, your boys, the Barkaroos. I know they've blooded and actually made a debut of a lot of kids this year so far. Unfortunately, we might have talked about it previously. Could be a season of pain for the Barkaroos.
I've watched a few of their quarters on the live replays there on the live streams that they do. Geez, they're getting their hands on it, just the finishing and stuff like that. So it's just probably let them down. Like the game against Harndorf in the hands that day, I watched that one there, and just Harndorf just finished just on a couple of just little errors, stuff like that. But they had plenty.
All comes through experience too, as we know. And these kids will, they'll warm to the task and get games into them. So.
Jesse Noonan, he I think he racked up 34. Weekend just gone, touches there. So Lockie Murphy,
Filmer, Bell,
Filmer's
names.
Filmer's been pretty exceptional. He's been the best players every week there. So he's been named 4 times. So he's having a good start to his career there at the Barkaroos.
Interesting to see Mount Barker's other teams doing well at Bordertown.
That's another story. You'll probably ask me that, no doubt. Anyway, next game down at the Valley of Praise, the Cooler Wild, the Stream game. So Loberthal took on Harndorf 11-5-71. So Harndorf 6 goals, 8-44. You were there, so fill us in.
Very good game in the conditions, and Harndorf jumped out the blocks. I think they had 4 on the board in about the first 12 minutes. You're thinking, what's going to happen here? But then the Tigers started to get their act in the gear. Drew almost at quarter time, then Harndorf kicked away and still had a margin of 7 points at half time. But in the second half, Loberthal, just that grinding football they play, and a few of their stars got involved. Big Charlie was very good. Up forward, Mitchie Carter.
Yes.
In the conditions, played very well. It's lost something like 10 kilos, they tell me. Mitch. Right.
Turns
on the sixpence these days instead of being the Queen Mary. The Titanic. But he was very good. And then Loberthal, Harndorf still leading by 4 points at three-quarter time. But in the last quarter, when it really counted, final quarter could be the premiership quarter.
That's it. Harndorf only scored 1 point in that final quarter. Is that a concern?
Well, it could be 5 goals added by the Tigers. Tigers seem to run out a bit better. And also their bodies. Harndorf have got a few younger guys that they've blooded through the system. Well done to them. Obviously, not the powerhouse they were when they had that magnificent run. But Tigers will be
put on a pretty big fitness campaign this pre-season.
The package. Well, Mitchie Weeks been leading it from the front himself. But good to see also Mitch Jenkins back in the side. He had a bit of quality. Hugo Munt had a bit of a quiet one, but we know he's a very good footballer. The King boys were good.
Ryan Kingsley was best on ground there.
Bristow played a very good game. Domination. So look, the Tigers are building again, and Lewis Johnson yet to come back in the side. Dylan King was missing, and a couple of others, so they can only get stronger.
Harndorf has had a few out.
Harndorf has particularly missing the ruck duel. Young Huxtable, he had the ruck against big Jimmy Braidwood and Charlie at times, so the young man did a pretty good job, but obviously body strength was going to be against him. So Harndorf got a few to come back in. Troy Parker-Byers, who had a late start to the season when he had a bit of a disagreement with a sore, he'll only be better for the run. So, Harndorf, will be around the mark, I'd suggest.
No worries. we'll get into the country division there, some scores there. So Chunga took on Gummaraka at Solar Wholesalers Ovals at Chunga. So big score there, 20 goals 9 to 129 to 4 goals 933. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, young Tyler Searle, I think he's kicked 15 goals in the last 2 games now. Young guy did spend a season at Mount Lofty, returned home last year to Chunga, and he's just given him a very good target up there. Megan's just at the big ruck recruit. He's very good, very agile as well. I think he's something like 208 centimetres, something, a big boy. And then the conditions last week was very agile for those conditions. Brett Turner back in the mix. That's his second game. He's very important to him.
Yeah. Possessions, are you?
Yeah, the Chunga, and just every time he gets the ball, he'd use it. Raffin Scarf, the recruit also from Mount Lofty, the young fella, he's making the most of his opportunity to play A-grade football out there, so he's going on pretty well. Will Enning, Big Ross, the other ruckman in those conditions, gives him a big target and also his body strength. So going on nicely. Gummaraka, as we know, have had a drain of players over the last couple of seasons after their premiership run, so look, they'll be competitive, but once again, as we talked about, perhaps Mount Barker, they just, some of the kids they're playing just haven't got the experience and body strength, so they'll take a bit of pain this year. But Chunga looking pretty good.
Look pretty good. Jack Parker for Gummaraka leading front there. Best players as well.
Yeah, and Alderson and Deto and Biaggi, some of the more experienced hands.
Next game was at Mackie Oval. Macclesfield took on Kersbrook. So Kersbrook 12 goals 6-78, defeated Macclesfield 8 goals 6-54. Running Premier's first loss.
Well, you might have to ask our special guest a bit later on. Kersbrook, the bogey side for Mackie, because last year they only dropped 1 game. I think that was the Kersbrook. That game was out at Kersbrook. So this time the Brookers have gone to Bloods Park and had a very good win. So good game of footy, obviously in the wet conditions. They were pretty neck and neck. Although Kersbrook had a 3-goal. Mackie had a 3-goal lead at quarter time, but Kersbrook, just as they do, they play that grinding style of football and really, cut down the strengths of the Bloods. And in the end, as you said, a pretty good win by.
That's the last quarter, 6-goal last quarter of the Kersbrook.
Yeah, is that a fitness thing? Maybe you can ask our special guest because.
That'd be concerning in the wet conditions.
Yeah, well, let's face it, we're heading into it. Jack Moraes, back this year, he was very good. Jacob Pearson, the ageless Matty Gardner, just continues to lead by example out at the Brookers. And for Mackie, Hearn, Ebbsford, Altamaro, Darrington and Howie were all good. Predominantly a lot of those guys in the defence, so just shows you maybe the Brookers had a lot of ball in their forward area in the second half of the game.
I think Bradley Noski played his 100th game.
Yes, well done to Bradley, nice young man, and
well done to that. And the last game at Torrens Valley, Hughes Construction Oval, Birdwood 23-14, 152 to Torrens Valley, 3 goals 2-20.
Well, the Roosters were pretty keen. They had the bye the previous week. They'd had a couple of losses, so they get back on and so in a competitive competition, which country is. And unfortunately, as we talked about our previous edition, percentage is going to count. So poor old Torrens Valley are going to be a side that when they come up against them, they'll be looking to kick as many goals as they can in the opposition. That certainly happened on Saturday in those conditions. And a bit of a shout out to past captain of Birdwood, Jared Jones, who wasn't going to play footy this year, but they must have been a bit short. He played his first game on Saturday and kicked the first goal. And as a kicking he got a push, ran into the goal post and did a bit of a Lee Matthews, snapped the post off, and unfortunately broke his collarbone. So we seen Jared great little footballer and courageous as he is. So we wish him all the best. But as you said, despite the wet conditions, the Roosters just flew away with the points.
Yeah, that's it. I see Jacob Eichler there, the son of Mark Eichler.
Oh, okay, yes.
Best player there.
And also Liam Davis, the past Norwood premiership player, beating 9.
Yes, for the Roosters.
And also Cooper Duke with 5. So when you've got, 14 goals behind you, between your 2 big spearheads, you're well on the way to a win.
That's it. Out at Kangaroo Oval, double Blues match, I suppose. Both teams wear the same colours. So Kangaroo 8 goals 19. Not very good kicking there, but 67 points. Defeated the Raiders 7-5-47. Thoughts on that one?
Raiders coming off the bye, still gelling together, as we know, resurrecting the club. They've done a fantastic job to get them up. They've been competitive in their previous games against Mackie and Meadows. I just feel, as we have talked about before, they will still gelling. They'll be better as the season goes. I think this might be exemplified in this result because after half time they just ran out of legs and they kicked 2 goals for the second half compared to 6. And once again, conditions, but as you said, if Kangaroo had kick-straight, it would have perhaps blown the Raiders out the water. In the end, it was only 20 points, but could have been worse. But yeah, good win to Kangaroo. Gets them back on even kill.
Jace Bode played first game. Is he injured or is he just...
No, I spoke to Jason. Play? Really, I think they were short because being the cricket finals, etc. on that weekend, if you remember, with the early start. Yeah. So they were down a bit on manpower.
So his intention's not to play.
I would suggest that he'd probably sit out more games than he plays. Craig Evans was very good on Saturday. He's warming back to that form that we know he can produce. Byers, Denham, the big forward, Bailey, and Benny Marsh, once again predominantly in defence, was their better players. Kangaroo, Kai Dean, who's on Port Magpies' Sandful top-up list. He's had the benefit of the pre-season. He's fitter. Yeah, Michael Ross in his 100th game for the Kangaroo. He's played for a few other clubs, but he's actually chalked up 100 for Kangaroo. So well done to him. He was pretty good as well. So and Harvey Frill, the party trick man. Yeah, he was very good. So Kangaroo, as we said, be around the mark. And Bridgewater, still work in progress, I'd suggest.
No worries.
All right, what have we got coming up for this week?
Yeah, so we'll go to that. I'll just go quickly through the ladder. I suppose Div 1, Loberthorpe out there on top, Onka Valley, so just percentage splitting those two sides up. Then comes Blackwood, the ones that are underrated. Mount Lofty now dropped back down to 4th. Harndorf still scraping there in 5th position, and just outside Uradla, and then Nambour and Mount Barker. So you would say it's out of 7 sides. No disrespect to Mount Barker. So
it's interesting there. The top. What are we looking at? The top 6 sides that Mount Lofty have the worst percentage. Yes. Which surprises me because the side that was undefeated, whether they're very defensive, but in the attacking wise, they down a bit. But that big Chimo Anawanu make his first appearance of the season last Saturday, the big man. He's been a couple of years up in Queensland, so he'll give him a bit of height. But Grundy missing at the moment, so it's Rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak.
Well, you look at Lower for there. 4's 342, so obviously striker up Carter, and then they're against is 172.
And Onka Valley's defence here, the tightest in
158, and their 4's is 260. So defence is probably showing there those two sides. Going to the country ladder there, so Kersbrook up on top of the ladder there. It's Macclesfield 2nd, Chunga 3rd, Kangaroo 4th, and 5th place there is Birdwood just outside. Meadows, Bridgewater, Gummerack and Torrens Valley again. It could be a 7-team race there for final spot.
You could see the, indicative of the teams that have played Torrens Valley. No disrespect to them, but the percentages are pretty high because obviously they've had some very big wins, which they'll probably need to build up percentage before the winter months come in.
That's it.
Now, a bit of a split round this week.
Split round this week. Can you fill me in the reason why? So there's only 2 games.
I think they even out the competition over the course of the season with the duration. I think
the way the week.
I think there's later on in the year there's a situation as well with the split round. So just stretches the competition out and gives sides the benefit of having a couple of weeks off.
Yep. So the first only 2 games in Div 1. So Blackwood take on Mount Lofty.
This is a ripper. I wanted the balcony. He'll be up and about the influence.
Well, there's no balcony at Blackwood. It's only the hill.
Sorry. It is. Sorry,
Were you trying to get every game?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, sound a bit like Collingwood supporter, don't I?
That's it.
So we have to travel. Blackwood, big test here for the Devils, and also a big test for Blackwood. They had a real deal. They've beaten a couple of sides, sitting down towards they're beating the bottom 2. Well, the bottom 3 sides as they sit at the moment. So there's a chance to actually knock off a team in the top 4, top echelon, who are actually leading up until last round. So it won't be easy for the Devils to go over there. Once again, selection will play a big part in this. Couple of injuries. Blackwood obviously up and flying. They'll be in front of their home crowd.
Yep. That's it.
Got it right this time. Yep. So this could be an upset on the cards, but.
So you're tipping against your club?
Fraught with danger to pick against a side that's only lost the 1 game for the year. Coach Borden, he'll be fired up to make sure they won't want this.
Former boundary rider, Thomas?
Matt Thomas, of course, doing the forward coaching there. Yep. So he no doubt will be receiving after losing. Tomo very competitive. So 1 to 10, I'll go Mount Lofty. But I must say, not a lot of confidence because Blackwood,
I go for Mount Lofty as well, just because the recent form, recent history, I suppose. Blackwood, again, a test. So
that could change
after this week. The next game, Onkers at home against Mount Barker.
Well, if you take Ongus, I know they're only just sitting short on percentage of top spot, so you could effectively say it's a top versus bottom. Yeah. Unfortunately, that scenario is going to play out. The young Roos, so there's another learning curve for them. Onkus, Clunny will be very keen to get points on the board. It's a home game there at the Kennel.
Well, last year, I don't think Mount Barker won convincingly against Onkus, so now it's going to be probably on the other side.
I think it'll be just be an example of how the wheels have turned for both clubs respectively. So it's dogs for me.
And we just talked about the ladder there. Onkus got a pretty stingy defence.
They have.
Going to have struggles there for Mount Barker.
Once again, those sides with reasonable percentages have played Mount Barker.
Yes,
already. So
I'll go for Onkus there. Going country division, so the Collar Wild match of the round, we'll go to that one first. So that is Macclesfield take on the Chunga.
Absolute boomer, because they have a long history going back to the start of the Hills Football League, 60 seasons ago, and also in the previous Hills Central. So no love lost between the two sides. So this is a real good test once again for both sides. Was it just a week off for Macclesfield? Where Chunga go from strength to strength.
Johnny there. So yeah, but I'd say a little bit of a hiccup there for Mackie. Chunga, they'll finish third, I reckon, last year.
They did indeed.
So they'll want to go one better. So,
absolutely. So look, Scott Bailey's doing a very good job out there. And as I said, they've been benefited by a few good recruits and some good young, talented teenage footballers who get the opportunity to play A-grade football at another club. And they've certainly taken that opportunity. So this is going to be a really good game. Once again, on the conditions, Mackie at home. Geez, they didn't lose a game at home last year at all. Now they've lost one. They got back-to-back home games, so they'll be pretty keen, as you can ask our special guest, what went wrong and how they're going to rectify it. I'll tell you what, I like Chunga, Brett Turner.
Yep.
Pretty good. Altamiro, Mitsafras, also will be keys. Blake Carter really didn't get amongst the goals last week, but only the 2 for the game.
Yep.
I might
1 to 10, Chunga.
Yeah, I might go the D's actually. 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'll say if you can curtail Turner, as you said, because he's been racking up since he's come back. That could be the one that you've got to limit his influence of the match. Next game, Kersbrook take on Birdwood. Bit of rivalry.
Great rivalries here over the years, similar to the game we just talked about. So, look, the Bookers sitting on top, up and about. I don't know if anyone would have thought that they would have, but I suppose you looked at the draws.
Around the mark.
Yeah, they've played two sides down the bottom, but then knocking off the reigning Premier. You can't do any better than that. Out at Brooker Park, Birdwood had that confidence-boosting win last week. Coach Shane Collins. He's also brought in a few good recruits to them, and they're certainly up and down. They didn't make the finals last year, so I think they're hell bent on that. They've had a few, as once again surfaced this week, a few off-field issues, which hopefully doesn't distract them from the task at hand. But I just think Kersbrook at home will be too strong.
I'll go for Kersbrook as well. I think they'll be too strong out there at Brooker Park. Meadows, after a week off, come back and take on Torrens Valley. So
Meadows, as you said, be refreshed. Any niggling injuries, have had a chance to perhaps soothe them. Coach Chris Dawes, we know, very competitive. He'll be keen for, as we spoke about previously, Stoker, you got to match the percentage and the winning margins of the sides around you against the poor old Lions. So once again, I think it might be a long afternoon for the Lions.
Well, Meadows put in a very good effort against Macclesfield.
They did indeed. It was only in the last quarter. Just showed them what they are capable of. Play consistent for 4 quarters, which I think they'll be looking to do this week. It's they'll be the regulator of how much they win by this week. I'm sure George Dawes will want a 4-quarter performance from them.
Yeah, I'll go for Meadows at home. So next game, the last game of the round, Gummeraka take on Bridgewater. I suppose Gummeraka can probably see potential there to be, a win, and Bridgewater probably see this as
so with the Raiders. It's a away game, so the Raiders will have to get out the road mats. Remember how to get to Gummeraka a long time ago, especially some of the ex-Nord boys. They wouldn't even been there before.
No,
as we said,
look for the big rocking horse.
That's right. That's right, and whatever's under it. But they look. This is opportunity, as I said, once a work in progress for the Raiders. They do get a chance in the next few weeks, perhaps get some more wins on the board, build that confidence. I think Gummeraka, we went through some that still got some quality in the side, but they'll see it as opportunity. I just think with the experience that they got, Force is a quality man, Denham's very good, Marsh, these sort of guys. I just think that, and Jeffries and Ed Smart, of course, plenty of experience there. So I just think they'll have too many guns for Gumaraka to cover. So I think the Raiders will get their second win on the board.
That's it. No worries. We'll take a quick break.
Yep.
We'll come back and get back into the show there. So we'll see you shortly.
Welcome back into the mix, your new online Adelaide Hills sports show, covering all the sporting competitions here in Adelaide Hill. And we'll move on to netball. As we said, really damp and wintry opening to the season in both competitions last week, Stoker.
Yeah, well, that's it. I suppose usually the first game around, you know, a bit of warmth, weather still, but yeah, they're greeted to very wet conditions.
A good week not to go out and watch the daughter.
No, I was unfortunately rostered on at work, so could not see.
You'd be out there braving under the umbrella.
Yes, under the umbrella. Yes, we do actually. So yeah.
All right, we'll take us through the results.
All right, so we'll go to the Mid Hills first. So Mount Barker Lutheran took on United. United coming out on top there, 38-21. So
United's first win after they were promoted last year, and unfortunately, learning season without getting the chocolates, and they'll be very rapt to first up win for 2026.
That's it. Then the next game, Harndorf defeated Onkaparinga 48-29, so a bit disappointing there from the Onka girls.
Well, particularly when their number one supporter doesn't roll up because of the weather.
That's it. So Loberthal took on Nan Districts, the reigning premier, so 35-32, so a close one.
Yeah, good game. Yeah, the late game there. And Nan just having the edge when it counted. But the Tigers will be happy only fielding the one side this year so they can put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. But Districts perhaps looming as a chase for the 4P.
Yeah, they'll be favourites for sure. Obviously, Loberthal only have one side this year, so they'll probably have a bit more depth to pull from the two sides they had last year. Chunga took on Littlehampton, so 50 goals to Littlehampton and 33 to Chunga, so that was their first outing from A2s last year.
Yeah, so well done to Chunga. They've taken the step up. And they were competitive, even though the score probably doesn't reflect it. But and also Littlehampton Lightning with a bit of a changed squad this year. Stacey Briggs, the playing coach, so good start for them.
That's it. So just the ladder there, obviously one round, so probably have to wait for a couple more weeks to see how that will shape up. But into the next games there, so this week, Mount Barker take on Loberthal, so you think this will be a challenge for Mount Barker United against Loberthal after the scores against Nan Districts there. So I think Loberthal should get the chocolates there. Nan Districts take on Chunga, so again,
the Premier clash from last year.
So you'd say Nan Districts will be too strong in that encounter there. This will be another good game here, Littlehampton and Harndorf, so both coming off good wins from round one. A little bit unknown both sides with the players there, so 50-50 for me. I'll probably just go Littlehampton.
Well, make it interesting. I'll go for Harndorf.
Okay. See how it goes in a couple of weeks' time when we come back for the next show. Onkaparinga take on Lutheran, so both teams will be keen to get on the board. Obviously, I'm going to go for Onkaparinga.
Well, I'll go for the Flames to make it interesting. So see who buys the coffees.
That's it. Just touch on Hills netball there. So it would have been very, very.
Yeah, it was wet because obviously closer to the Mount Lofty, so a bit more rain in the area over there. But you had, if you want to go through
there. So Sterling Comets took on Ironbank's Cherry Gardens.
Sterling Comets back in, Stoke, in Hills A2 ranks for the first time in several seasons, so that's good to see.
Yep, so it'll be a bit of a learning curve for those girls this year. So 32 to Ironbank and 24 to Sterling.
Well, that's a good start for Ironbank because they were bottom of the run last year, so a good start for them.
Yep. Heathfield took on Uradler, the powerhouse of Uradler, 49 to 17. So
grand final rematch from last year, because obviously the Demons getting the chocolates there and did it again in pretty style, but a bit of a learning curve for a young Heathfield Stars side. So Tescal getting the Lady Constance for knife and medal for the traditional Anzac Day round. So well done to her from the road. But once again, only the 7 teams in the comp this year, so 6 teams, so you can see that your Raider are going to be hard to beat again.
Just a quick question on Heathfield. Are they aligned to Mount Lofty Footy Club? Would they,
I think they share the facilities occasionally, but Mount Lofty did a bit of an association with Crayfors at one stage. But Heathfield, and of course, wearing the famous red and green colours, is still in the Hills sport, so
Heathfield United.
Yeah.
So, The last game there, Summertown 35 took on Piccadilly, so crosstown rivals.
Yeah, they were. This game was actually a home game for the Summertown Tigers, but their courts are being resurfaced just to make them a little bit more slippery. But so the game was actually played at Piccadilly, but even the home court, those couldn't help the Panthers and the big cats, the Tigers and the Panthers going at a good win to Summertown. And good to see Alicia Jep pass Summertown Tiger, who went and played a bit of footy, pretty successful down at Sturt, and also represented the state in women's footy. So she is back, and she played centre and led them to a very good win. And talking about netball and AFLW, we must mention Lily Smart, past Crayford's netball, talented all-round athlete who also very good Hills District representative and national competition, running, high jump, that sort of stuff. Mount Lofty women's football. She was actually drafted during the week, staying to West Coast. Yeah. So well done to Lily, a young lady who, world's her oyster as far as footy goes.
Going over to Perth, I suppose. So congratulations to Lily on that.
So it's just the thing, netballers and footballers is room for the two sports to be played for the girls, the all-round sportsmen. But I suppose at this stage you've got to choose one or the other.
It's probably a bit like the boys' footy and cricket.
Yeah.
We'll go into the next games there. So Ironbank take on Summertown. Who's tip there?
It's an Ironbank. I think Summertown will build on what they achieved last week and a good start to the season. Ironbank, still a young side, young players, so I just think Summertown.
Another rivalry game, Heathfield take on Stirling Comets, I suppose.
Well, this is two young sides. I think Heathfield, by the benefit of last year playing in the grand final, would have learned a lot already from the first round, beaten by the reigning premiers. So I think Heathfield on the home courts here would get the points.
Yep. And Piccadilly, another crosstown rival, Piccadilly and Uradler.
Yeah, well, Piccadilly effectively were back-to-back home games, but I think Uradler will just be too strong.
Uradler look like they're the ones to beat in the mid-hills. A couple of shout-outs you want to, we'll touch on a couple of things there that we want to shout out to.
Yeah, I just want to mention Joshy Hone, because another famous Mount Barker resident, and because last Saturday they kicked his Sunday, they lost too, Stu. That's back-to-back loss.
Yeah, so last year they were flying.
Lost one game, so
to recruited and both more players.
Yeah. But Joshy Hone kicked his 300th goal for Sturt, so well done. Puts him right up in the upper echelon of goal scorers in the history of the Sturt Football Club. So
just a question on Josh: is he a Mount Barker junior or a Mount Lofty junior?
I think he play modifieds maybe at Mount Barker and then come across to
under
maybe
13s.
Under 13s, right, and then came
part of the under 13 premiership side. So
so that answers the question. So you could claim him, but he came across and just honed his game at Goat Park.
That's it.
Only limited appearances, of course. He's been down at Sturt for a long time.
Oh, fantastic!
In fact, it's hard to imagine because Joshy, he's the most experienced player in the Sturt lineup at the moment.
And he would be just turning 30, I reckon.
So
30.
Still maybe a couple more seasons left. As he said, why would you come back when you're having fun and winning flags and kicking goals is fun, you'd suggest.
So will he come back to Mount Lofty once his playing date's finished?
Well, we'd have to ask him. Maybe we'll get him on the show during the season, ask him that hard question.
But no, he's a fantastic player. He's always been very good at junior level there, and obviously now into the senior ranks there. I suppose, didn't get drafted, but he was pretty keen there. So,
well, he's got to be pretty good because he rests up all week. He probably just sits in the office here at APC there, just makes the coffees or something. I couldn't imagine him doing anything too
strange. What's Bruno around?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
And also, we must announce that the appointment has been made for the Interleague game because RMFL taking on the Hills up at Murray Bridge this season, in long weekend in June. And, good friend of the Recorder Wild. Past Hills Football League male medalist, Uradler Blackwood player, and also had a stint down at Nord. Matty Thomas has taken over the role. So well done to Matty. He'll certainly bring some enthusiasm. I know he's been working hard already just to drum up, the involvement and for people to be involved. You asked me before about it.
That'll be in the mixed matters, that question I asked you. Interleague football.
Well, you'd ask me now. I think it's got its place.
Doesn't matter. Interleague football doesn't matter.
Well, I think it does matter because I think we talked about this last edition. It's the highest, perhaps, that some guys will ever get to play. Play at representative level, which then again leads to zone, which can lead to SA country representation. So, yes, I think it is, but it certainly has waned since the days that you played and some of the greats of the past, the Lovelock Shield days, the Berry Carnival days, etc., etc. got to make it more attractive. And of course, with the money that's coming to footy, a lot of clubs like if I recruit you as a superstar and you're getting X amount of dollars, I get you to win a flag for whoever, not to play for the Hills League if you get injured. So I don't know whether it's a contract's got to be signed with a lot of leagues. If you get an affiliate, if you get cleared into the association, you make yourself available to represent the league.
Yeah, so that was one of the questions. How do you get those players to play?
Well, Tomo's something to do that. I know he's worked through it. He's going to get a few old hands who've been involved with rep footy before on board and that sort of stuff. So it's at the end of the day, I have no doubt if the Hills were able to field their best lineup possible, they would be one of the strongest competitions in the whole of South Australia. Remember the old days when they used to actually have the country championships where you did actually play different leagues? Yes. It was a knockout basis over 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Grand final will be played down in town. And,
I was just going to ask you another thing. Do they only just play River Murray, so they don't play Southern?
No, they just it's always a River Murray these days. Since the old Lovelock Shield days.
And then obviously
Southern and Great Southern have that sort of thing in the zone.
Will they come back?
We'd love to see it, but especially the junior perspective, it was very good. The Crozer and Parker Shields were part of it with the Lovelock.
Can you do it on a rotation basis?
Well, we could. It's similar to the Myers Shield, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Could be done, but that's another one for perhaps you put in the bowl down for discussion. But at this stage, I'd have to have my doubts about it.
Yep. No worries.
Unfortunately.
No worries. Got another netball shout out?
Yes.
Nancy Moulds.
Oh, of course, yes.
Well, we're still on netball.
Yes. Nancy Moulds was honoured with a Netball SA Life membership. Well done to Nancy. Something like 66 years she's been involved in netball, because starting as a junior player and all the way through. But then on top of that, Stoker, 53 years in an administrative role.
That's a long
secretary,
time.
president, etc. of the club, and also involved with the Hills governing body. Yeah. And then also in a coaching role, she's coached something like 20 years in the Courier League team for Uradla, and then the various grades throughout Uradla, the Demons. So, great servant.
Great servant,
and certainly justified. And only 67 people in the history of Netball SA have been awarded that honour. So, and for a community identity, netball to be awarded it. So well done to Nancy, and well done to you. So.
Congratulations there to Nancy.
Yeah, all right.
We'll take a break.
We'll get warmed up now, because when we come back, we'll find out what matters on the mix in Mix Matters.
No worries. See you soon. Welcome back to the show. Get into, I reckon, one of the most important segments are there, Mixed Matters.
Yes,
Mixing bowl
do matter.
We're still waiting on the set to be built, and that should be ready next week. And we'll grab the mixing bowl then.
Very nice out here, Australia. You need to cut the lawn, though.
Yep, I'll let you kick it off there. Yes, that's my job after the show.
All right. We saw last week, as we spoke earlier, about the inclement weather coming in, and it was pretty bad, and looked at hydroplaning sort of conditions there. So, should players be forced to compete on wet netball courts? I know in tennis season, back in the days when I played for Stirling East, back in the day, you could not be forced to play if there was a little bit of rain during the summer, and because the lines get very wet, etc., and slip in the old Dunlop volleys.
Yep.
So, I ask you, given what we saw this week in the photos in the Courier, is it dangerous? Is there any health and safety issues that arise from that?
I think it does matter. I'm not sure on the actual bylaws if it's an umpire's decision, because I have been to a few of those games over at Woodside, and there has been torrential rain, and then you can see the water beaming off the court.
Absolutely.
And then the ball, when it
on the
hits
lines,
the ground, it slips, and then you've got the white lines there.
So must be on a skating rink.
So it's something that maybe we'll have to find out if there is actual bylaw of that.
So I'm going to play onkers, get there and the girls say, we don't like this, and I go up to you as your opposing captain or the umpire and say, we've decided we're not going to play. Does that open the big can of worms? You're going to forfeit? No, we're not going to play, not forfeit. We just don't. It's unsafe. So is there a ruling on it? You don't know.
I don't know if there's an actual ruling. So if you did say that to me, I don't know if you claim, or the opposition claimed the forfeit.
Of course, you want to claim the points, wouldn't you?
You want to claim the points, and I think it is a duty of care. So There are squeegees there. You know, they used to wipe off the courts there.
Yes.
So I have seen them used a few times. But that mid-hills on the bottom side there, obviously where the trees are, they do get a little bit slimy, and that's where the slope falls, and that's where that court can be a little bit treacherous at times. So that's something for me to...
You're not sure, so can we leave that to you to talk to your people? We'll get back to us in
I'll
future
find out in
next
next edition. I'll have the answer there for you. But yes, it is a concern.
Right.
I got one for you there, Jeff. Does it matter? Is there a growing monopoly on sport on free-to-air television where stations choose what they wish to promote?
Yes, there is. I've made a factual study of this, Stoker, particularly news services. Particularly in the morning, I get up, I might want to see what's going on in the world, or overnight the sport, say Today's Show, but I know Sunrise does it as well. They only show highlights or mention the sports that they cover. Like, you get sick of hearing about rugby league on Channel 9 specifically. The whole sports segment, overnight scores, is something about rugby league for a game that's on Sunday. You're watching it on a Monday, the preceding Monday. What they talk about is the game. Various things that are happening around the world, but if you don't cover it, like 9 really, once the tennis is here, they really saturate it with that. Don't mention anything about the cricket because they haven't got the rights to it. Motor racing, like the other week there was watching the GP, Jerez in Spain, young Australian Senna Aegis is his name, won the Moto 2 Grand Prix, which is a pretty big thing. It's a stepping stone to the big boys. Not one mention of it anywhere, yet then they show the World Dog Surfing Championships. Give me a break. They just do not. It's just serious. I've made, as I said, a serious study of this, and it's not just a thing that once in a while, it happens all the time.
So
and
corporate,
and things that they don't cover, they don't want to promote because at the end of the section, say on the rugby union, or the gratuitous plug, and you can see the game live on Channel 9 or Stan. So it just shows you a lot of people don't have pay TV or Fox or cable, so they rely on that to watch it. And I'm just talking about the news updates of sport, what happens. It's not mentioned at all.
IPL was probably like that early days. Now it's on Fox there, I see, but you're still going to have Fox to watch that. But free to air, you wouldn't even know IPL.
Like the coverage, like another example, the Reds have finally finished second on the ladder. I think Adelaide United for the Sunday this week, they become flavour of the month because there's something to cover. And I'm sick of football, but every night there's a story about football, like some crow's broken a toenail or something, or no, but I'm serious.
Well, you watch the Adelaide things, and you know where Collingwood supporters. There's no mention of anything of the Victorian clubs, but I suppose
it doesn't have to be under Victoria football. But I'm just saying other things happening in the world, like Grand Prix and surfing and stuff, and tennis. I'm sure there's Australians doing good things around the world. You don't hear about it because the network doesn't cover it. So fair enough. That's a bit of a gripe, and for those people out there watching, just take note and see if I'm onto something. Righto. Tell you what, we might be onto something here. Should the introduction of 2-point super goals, similar to Suncourt Super League netball, be introduced, which is in the final 5 minutes of each game, I think from 1.9 metres out.
Yes.
So we've done my homework here, Stoker.
You have.
So I know it means that I have to have a bit of an extra ring part, but would it bring something more to the game?
I definitely agree with you there. So we do see in the Super League there, the Super Net Suncorp series, that they have it there, and it does add a little bit of excitement. So if that's the highest pathway to elite level, should we be having that in the lower competition, the grassroots competition? Because that's a way you could probably get recruited to those teams. If you're a very good outside shooter as a junior, working your way up, it's a pathway, in my opinion. So I totally agree, and I think it adds a little bit of excitement.
What is the percentage, having watched it, what is the percentage of those shots that are nailed from the distance shots?
There are special shooters there that they sub in sometimes there. I'll use Adelaide Thunderbirds as one, so Horges would probably go into that spot. So usually the tall shooters, they don't shoot that far out because they're under the ring. So percentage wise, I reckon it would have to be around 80%.
Because obviously you relate to the 3 points in basketball because you get the board there to go off, but to get a shot from distance clean through the ring is quite a talent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because obviously the ring is a lot smaller and the ball's a little bit lighter as well than a basketball. So it is a difficult shot, but I definitely think it should come in my view. So Yeah, I reckon it should be in.
Very innovative here on the mix, aren't we?
That's it. I got one for you there, Jeff.
Righto.
Could there possibly be the implementation of the fair play rules for seniors? This is given the rule to avoid trauma of junior players, like the 10-goal mercy rules. Thoughts?
Wow. Well, that's a real can of worms.
Yeah.
Given some of the
Torrens Valley, I suppose.
I was going to say that. Obviously, using him as an example. We've seen some big losses there, and I know the junior powers that be brought in the fair play rule to no scoreboard or whatever after 10 goals deficit, just to save the trauma and disappointment for little Mark getting flogged and whatever. So how do some of these senior footballers think like we're only 4 rounds in or whatever it is, and they've had some horrendous big hidings already. As it come to, I think, oh, gee, we're going to get belted again this week, blah, blah, blah. So at senior level, because let's face it, seniors probably get stressed more than juniors, wouldn't they? Relate to it more.
I can see the point there for the juniors having it. I totally agree there. So my view for juniors would be like once you start playing junior coach, you could probably lift that. So anything before under 14s, definitely have the mercy rule there. But for seniors, I don't agree with that. I think.
Yeah, so things like I know in softball, baseball, they have all after 7 innings if you're 7 zip behind or whatever.
For seniors.
Yeah, in senior, senior.
And it just stays 7 zip.
No, what they call the game.
So they stop.
After a certain amount of innings, that's it. We're not saying
could
that.
Be a short game.
Well, that's right. Well,
if you get that in the first.
If you're 10 behind, yeah. But situation here is, do you stop the scoreboard and so they don't catch up? I don't know. You can't just pull the plug on the game, though.
No, you can't. I think.
Or is it just the most you can win by is a certain amount of points?
So you have a set percentage that is a standard percentage if you get over that margin. That could possibly be a good rule to bring in, I suppose. Because it depends. I'll use this one as an example for you. So you're playing, I'm going to disrespect the time.
Someone's going to be bottom.
Yeah, so Torrens Valley at the moment. So if you play them this week and it's going to be 20 mil of rain, obviously you're going to limit your scoring ability because it could probably be locked down a lot better. And if you go play them on a dry day,
point taken
40 things. So
quite right.
And that could affect the teams sitting in the 6th, 7th position at the moment to get into the 5. So that could be a way of having a set percentage if you get over a particular margin. So then it's equal for all sides.
On this way, we can see how sometimes some circumstances that continually happen in sport can have a real psychological effect on you. You only have to look at Carlton at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Can't score after half time.
And, whether it's that situation of just coughing up the lead or else each week getting pounded, and obviously it's going to have a bit of an effect on you. But
definitely. I think
in the history of the game, I know there's always going to be sides who are free scoring, sides that are struggling. So I can't see it coming in, but perhaps food for thought in this modern age era that we live in. Who knows?
I'm sure there'll be a discussion at HFL level, I suppose. All sports.
At the start at the AFL level, as all the smart decisions are made.
Then filter down to all the clubs. All
right. Well, that's been things that matter in the mix.
That's it. We'll come back and we'll have the interview with Johnny.
Looking forward very much to that.
That's it. Stay tuned for that one. Right, welcome back to the mix. Got our special guest, Johnny Fitzgerald, the coach of the Macclesfield Football Club. So welcome to the show, Johnny, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start on your footy journey. So how did it all start and how did you get into coaching, playing-wise, then into the coaching side of things? How'd that go?
So I originally started my career at Adelaide Hills in the junior ranks there in the under-13s. I was there for the amalgamation of the Bridgewater and the Callington. Went across there, played probably 3 or 4 years through the juniors and then a couple of senior years there, which then led me into coaching because I was no good at footy, so thought I'll take up something else and took up coaching, coached the under-14s, under-16s and under-18s there. and then eventually coached B grade there too before they folded. So,
Yep.
And then obviously now at Macclesfield, I think this is my 4th year there now. Started as an assistant coach and now co-coaching the senior rank with Neil Reeve.
Yep, no worries. Who was some of the influence in getting into coaching? Along the way there, did anyone help you, or training, or any influences there to make you want to coach?
Yeah, so I think my father was a big one when I was younger. Sort of inspired to be him. He sort of was always coaching us through junior years, and I thought, well, since I'm not playing footy anymore, I'll take up coaching. And then Rob Prime at Bridgewater, when we won the premiership in 2016, I reckon it was, in the A grade, he was a head coach there, and he sort of he was very good the way he spoke with players, and sort of a leader as a coach as well, which was awesome.
So how did you get to Macclesfield then, like from the Eagles? So is it just obviously connection that way, or did they approach you?
No, so obviously, Bridgewater folded. Toby Ferguson, who coached Bridgewater B grade when I was playing there, he was the head coach that year, and he got me across. He found out that Bridgewater was done, so he hit me up and asked if I wanted to be an assistant there, and said absolutely.
Yep. So what stood out about Mackie when you first arrived there? Like, what was the your reaction? I suppose you were at Callington, Bridgewater, so did you notice anything different, or?
I guess the community feel, just like the Mackie stalwarts, I guess. It's the same people that have been there for so many years, and the way they embrace new people, past, present, it's just incredible. Good family club. They care so much about their junior, the junior ranks especially. I guess it was the people there that really stood out to me when I got there.
Yep, no dramas. So obviously we'll talk about last season, so history-making season. So winning the premiership, so 40-year drought, over 40-year drought was broken. How did that feel for you and like the club? How did that feel? It would have been a pretty awesome feeling, I'd gather.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Obviously, we sort of had that in the back of our minds, the 40-year number on game day. And then sort of 3/4 time, it was like, how good's this? And just panning over and seeing the crowd and how excited they all were throughout that, sort of last quarter there where they got to embrace it. And, I don't know, the whole town went pretty crazy for a few nights.
We had
a bit of fun, which was awesome. But, it was a great feeling. It was unbelievable.
You just mentioned there about the impact that it had on the club and the town. Was there a particular moment during the season that you think you could win it? Was there any point of time, or not really?
No, I don't think there was any time.
Pretty tight comp.
Yeah, Kangaroo and Chunga and Kersbrook, they beat us. So it was a bit of a what if kind of thing. We didn't actually know what was going to happen. We had 3 close games with Kangaroo, and it was sort of no real time where we thought we were going to win it. But we definitely knew we had it cut out for us, regardless of what was going to happen. So
What was the challenge? Any challenges in that period? Like, I suppose, was there any injuries leading into it, or was there anything that sort of, or not really?
No, we were pretty lucky on the injury front last season. I guess it was more the selection side of it for us, which was obviously difficult. Especially
the bees as well.
So the bees unfortunately got knocked out. I think it was the prelim, so it was second semi. But the selection side of it made it pretty difficult after that. But there wasn't really any challenges, I guess, in that aspect as coaches.
So having time to reflect on it now, obviously we're into round 4 or 5 into Division 2. What moment stood out the most in that grand final for you?
What moment?
Was there a memorable moment?
No, not really. It was Reece Jolly's goal. We call him the milkman at Mackie, and just that goal that coming goal he got there on half-forward flank in front of our crowd. That was probably a moment that really stood out for us. But I guess the whole day, it was pretty cool.
Yep. You mentioned your co-coach with Neil. So how does that partnership work, and how did it come to fruition, I suppose? Can you explain that?
So the way it came about was, so when I was there the first year with Toby Ferguson as a coach, he departed, and then Neil came in, and he sort of wanted to keep the structures the same, wanted to keep me around, I guess, as an assistant for the first year. And then through this, into the second year, he proposed to me. He goes, "What are your thoughts on co-coaching?" And of course, I was going to be arms open. We weren't too sure how it was going to work. He'd done it in the past, but I didn't know him all that well at the time. But we were sort of the same person. We sort of wax off each other. We sort of have the same thought patterns and stuff like that. So it makes it very easy to coach with.
So where's Neil from, his background?
So he is originally, I believe, a Christie's Beach lad. He played at South Adelaide, coached at Conniva, played in Ovens and Murray for Wodonga, I believe, and then then coached a bit at Christie's Beach and South Adelaide. So he's got a bit of experience there.
That's it. So how does the partnership work on game day? What roles during the week or Saturdays? Does anyone have set roles, or do you share it?
No, we don't really have a set role. Trainings we take it in turns. Game days we take it in turns too. So, say I do pre-game this week, he'll do the first quarter, and then next week he'll do the pre-game and I'll do the first quarter. So we take it in turns like that. I guess on the sideline, it's both of us. It's not one person's better than anyone. We bounce off each other with our notes and whatever we see out there. So no one, it was sort of just a shared 50-50 role.
So the game plan this year, obviously won last season. Is there any tweak to it, or have you just sort of stayed the same?
No, nothing for us. No changes. I'm a believer. What's not broken, don't fix it. So
keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling the same. It's just obviously we have to be that 10-20% better because we're now the hunted. So
I was just going to ask you that. So have you noticed any of the other teams playing you every week? They're trying to knock you off.
So obviously Cosbrook got us on the weekend, and the week before we got pretty lucky against Meadows there in the last quarter. So I guess everyone's Division 2 is, from what I'm seeing, is much better, which is awesome to see.
So improvements. They obviously won last year. Is there any improvements? Where can you improve?
We're a very quiet bunch.
That's unusual for Mackie guys.
There's not really any loud people within the club. So that's probably one thing we could be better at as a playing group. And like always, as every coach would say, obviously we want our skills to be better. We want our structures to be better. I guess with all of those things, you always want to be better as a group. You don't want to take a backward step. So
that's it. Is there any risk of being complacent, or the group, are they up and about to see this an opportunity back to back?
I don't see any complacency within the group. If anything, they're probably hungrier than they were last year.
That's good.
They all know and understand that everyone is always wanting to beat the reigning premiers, and they're with the hunted team now. So I don't think there's any complacency at all within the group, which is awesome.
So some recruits this year, how they've been tracking. Can you tell us a bit about them? And any major outs there as well from the season?
We've only brought in, I think, one guy, which is Joshua Johns from Port Noarlunga. He's had a great start to the year, plays down back, and really strengthens our back line. If anything, gives us run.
We've got some good players in the back line. Howie.
He's up on the wing now.
He's on the wing now. He's gone from halfback.
We've had a few, I guess, positional changes, but the back line is a little bit different this year. But we back whoever's there.
No worries. Who's taken their game to another new level? Any of the young guys caught your eye, stuff like that?
I think Thomas Altamara has gone to another level. Our best and fairest last year, Cole Emery. He's started the season very, very well. Riley Dakin's another one. Playing some outstanding footy in the ruck for us at the moment. We sort of we've got a wide spread of guys that I could name, but they're probably the three that come to mind.
Any leaders that are driving the standards? The driving older guys. Probably Emery would be one of those.
Emery is one of them. He's a real driver of standards. He sort of sets the tone for everyone. He's pretty. He doesn't like to lose. So even at training, if it's a 50-50 ball, he wants it regardless. Our captain Isaac Lallard is very good at that.
He's a good young
good
player.
people person, and really knows how to get the best out of everyone. They're probably the guys that are pushing it the most.
Can you go back to back?
Oh, well,
No, you're going to give it a crack.
I think every coach is going to say yes, aren't they?
Yeah.
You'd be silly not to say yes.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting season. But we'll see what happens.
Who do you see as the biggest challenges?
Kersbrook.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Kersbrook so far. They were pretty good on the weekend, and Meadows might be another one. They're looking very good with their recruits out there. So it's going to be tough. Obviously, Chunga this week, so we'll see what happens.
So you reckon the Division 2 comps got stronger this season?
A lot stronger.
Yeah,
just good.
Yep. Club, always club people. There's good committee people around. Is there anyone you would like to mention there that sort of goes unrecognised? And
I think the biggest one for us is probably Katie Mattingly. She does a lot of work behind the scenes as a junior director. Getting under 14s and the moddies up and running week in, week out in the canteen, doing everything like that. Craig Lallard, as everyone knows, he's the president. Same again, does heaps that goes unnoticed. And probably our trainers are another one that sort of fly under the radar as helpers there. Without them, we wouldn't get on the park with our players. And they're awesome.
So you mentioned Craig Lallard, so I would assume he'd be a really big driver, in the premiership last year, trying to, he's done a lot for that club.
Yeah, absolutely. Stan Fawcett was president before him.
Yeah.
Who done a mountain of work as well to get the club up and running. That the first year I joined, they were on the brink of actually folding. We got pretty lucky with the Bridgewater with them folding and not getting the Bridgewater boys across. So, Craig, was a big driver in the premiership season, and it was awesome to have someone like him, and obviously Robbo was our footy director as well. So with the recruiting last year, it was exceptional.
Yep. With the club moving forward, it's been a bit of talk about moving to Division 1. I read in the Courier a few weeks back pre-season. Is there any talk of that, or is that a driver, or not really?
Well, I haven't really heard anything about Division 1. Obviously, everyone wants to get into Division 1, but I'd love to see
opportunity, like big step to take, I suppose.
For sure, it's obviously the standards are a lot higher again, but obviously, we want to be Division 1, I guess, and I'd love to see the club there, but I guess as every other club, it depends on your junior ranks as well. So you can't just go up there for your seniors.
No worries. So what excites you about this season and the future of the Mackie Footy Club? So,
I guess the excitement is knowing what the unknown, I guess.
Yeah.
The challenges that we're going to cop along the way, and what I guess the character that we've got and how we're going to get to the top again if we want to get to the top. I guess that excites me the most. Like the challenges, obviously, but I'd say that's probably what it is for me. But I'm sure other people can answer that differently as well.
Yeah. Obviously, this week got the match around against Chunga at home. Call it a wild match. So all the cameras are on you, I suppose, so to speak. Pistols will be there in the team, so I'm sure they might ask you some questions. So you had a loss to Kersbrook. Was that a bit of a wake-up call? They did beat you last year at their ground. So any thoughts on that game, that loss?
Yeah, well, I think it was 365 days since they beat us as well. Okay. So I think that was a bit strange how that sort of panned out. But credit to Kersbrook. They brought the fire, they brought the intensity, and obviously they played a bit better on the day and got the win with their skills. And
conditions, did that sort of, I know it's the first wet day.
They were clean, we weren't. I guess that's the number one rule of wet for the footy. If you can control the game, you win the game, and they've done that to perfection. So
So Chunga, what are their strengths and weakness? Brett Turner, are you going to tag him?
I wouldn't say tag. Probably back our mids
to go head
to head. But their strengths. Obviously, their forward line is exceptional with young Kyler Sell up there. David Buddy Easton when he's up there too. And then guys like Brett Turner and a few of the younger lads that they've got running through their midfield. Liam Place, a great link up forward for them.
He just played his 150th not long ago.
They've got a good list there. Scott Bailey is a good coach, and it's going to be a challenge for us, and we're actually looking very forward to it, just to see where we are this year and what's going on. So it'll be good.
So you got a full list to choose from, or no? We've still got players to come back in.
Yeah, we're pretty injury riddled at the moment.
Okay.
Sort of the Meadows game cooked us a little bit, but we got the depth there. We trust who we've got within the club, and
step up.
Yeah, it's sort of not, I guess, ideal having injuries this early, but at the same time, I'd rather them now than 10 weeks time, I guess.
So coming in the finals.
Yeah.
That will. Thanks for your time, mate. It's come to the end. Appreciate you coming out and having a chat with us. And I'd like to say good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks,
thanks again to Johnny Fitzgerald, Macclesfield Football Club. So we'll take a break and come back to wrap up the show. Thank you.
All right, welcome back into the mix, and great interview there. Very in depth.
Yes, very in depth, and good luck to Macclesfield.
Yeah, they're quick back to back, and thank you to Johnny Fitzgerald for coming in. All right, well that wraps up our second edition. Stoke. It's been another good one, very insightful, and we must thank the Matt Barker Curry and also the Call of the Wild for their support in putting this all together. So until we meet again, we'll catch you next time here on the mix. Keep chasing your goals, and bye for now.
Bye for now.